Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
To demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Glad you could be here. Let's see what we're dealing with today. We have a full moon. Today, a full moon in Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, so waters is emotions. Full moons really seem to exaggerate more of what is going on. We understand the craziness that takes place when we hear about the full moons. So today we have the full moon and we have the emotions. So a lot of feelings associated with this. The card, we'll look at it when it comes up. The tarot card associated with Pisces is the card of the moon, which is asking us to have faith because we go into the unknown areas of the world, unknown areas of ourselves with the emotions that we're dealing with. We have a moon sign or sun sign that is in Virgo. Virgo, which is all about helping, teaching. The tarot card associated with that would be the Hermit holding the lantern high, representing this is the time of teaching others. The Hermit goes into solitude in order to gain wisdom, in order to be able to bring that wisdom to others. Okay, we looked at, we have an opposition going on. And opposition just means that the sun and the moon are going to be opposite each other. So just think about things in your life where you've got opposites, like a tug of war. Okay, you got two things at the opposite. So at one end of this tug of war, you've got the sun, which is Virgo, and at the other end of this tug of war, you have the moon, which is Pisces. And they're pulling tug of war, and the Virgo is an earth sign, and the Pisces is an emotion sign. So you get this emotions and this earth, and they're pulling back and forth with each other later as it gets into the evening. And it can be a good thing. It can be stable because, sometimes two things pulling on and something can be holding it up or carrying something or balancing it or trying to rip it apart. So it just depends on how intense the energy is. So that goes on later tonight. And so with the full moon that is taking place, all of the energy is really, as I said before, exaggerated. So we just need to pay attention to that. The numerology today is the number 6, and this is all based upon today's date, which is 9/8/2014. Adds up to a 24. 2 plus 4 equals 6. So based simply upon the calendar that we're using and the number system of the calendar today being September 8th, 2014, today's numerology is a 6. So what this means is that when a calendar is an agreement, even though we didn't all agree we're going to use this calendar, it's the calendar we're using. So by mutual agreement, we're all deciding that this is the time that we're using. So when we look at these particular time dates, we've constructed with our mind different energy patterns, different ideas of what this time represents. And so each and every day has its own signature pattern of energy because we've set that up. So today we look at today and we say today is a 6 pattern of energy according to the numbers of the day. And so a 6 pattern of energy has a certain type of pattern to it, just like all of the other numbers. So when we understand what the pattern of energy is for the particular day, then we can move in that pattern of energy a little bit more effectively. It's kind of like knowing how to particularly behave during a particular phase. And so it's really helpful to understand. So 6 is You know, they're all about their balance, about positivity. In the tree of life, the sixes are right here in the middle. Beauty. So it's a very central part and an important number in the middle of things. This is the 6 here. It represents the card of the lovers, or just choices, discernment. Okay. And our moon sign for today is right here, Pisces. There's the Pisces card. There's that right down here. And the Virgo card is right here. So we have the Hermit, who's gotten an abundance of information. So we have wisdom, it's information. It's been abundance has been received. This is the side where things are received. We receive wisdom. We receive all of this information. Things around us expand with Jupiter in this area here. So we've expanded our field, and now the Hermit has to bring that back to the center. Okay? There's a humility when we see how big the amount of information is and how vast it is. We become humbled, but we want to make sure we're not bowled over by that, so we have to be strong enough to come back to the center place. And there we shine that information, shine that light for others to see. So that's what the Virgo is doing. So that's what this time frame is with this sun sign. Okay, and our moon sign down here, going from our emotions, just heading right down into that physical world. Just going to take that path, the path of the unknown. Okay, so let's look at that one further here, the moon. This is the card representing Pisces, or our moon sign is at the moment. And it's called the moon. And in this card you see what looks like a progression of evolution coming out of the water. A lot of the emotions, the fluid of life. You have the crab. Crab's got the shell around it to protect it from the emotions. So that's a common theme in life and throughout these cards, to be able to protect ourselves, have some sort of outer protection. And then there's the evolution from the dog to the wolf, and then to the domesticated creature, the dog. And then we're moving the path of life. When we get to the pillars, and everything in front of the pillar, we know what it is. We could see what it is, but past this pillar is the unknown. And that's where we have to go. And the only thing to guide our way is that sun and that moon, by day and by night. And so at nighttime, we don't have the sun. All we have is the moon. And even when it gets to be a sliver, so we look at that moon, and that light of that moon gives us hope, keeps our faith going that that sun is still out there. And so that's what this card represents. It's called the corporal intelligence. It means body consciousness, and is indicative that illumination is dependent upon bodily states. Upon the bodily organs are evolved the extent of the higher forms of consciousness that can manifest enough. It is impossible to experience such states of consciousness. Sleep is attributed to this key, and it is during sleep that our aspirations and efforts are built into organic structure. Every thought we think and every action has some modifying influence on body structure. So that's an important aspect. It kind of plays into the idea of how we're all changing, that every thought we think and every action has some kind of modifying influence on our body. And it is during the sleep phase where we find that those changes are occurring, taking place as we're traveling into that unknown. It is said the way of attainment is the way of return. This is symbolized by the moon, which reflects the rays of the sun back into the sun. The crawfish represents the instinctive energy. The wolf, the dog represent the same energy, but in higher form. As the result, he is a product of human adaptation. The path passes between the two extremes, because the way of balance goes neither too far towards artificiality nor allows everything to be influenced by ungoverned natural impulses. The path leads through the well-tilled field to the unknown heights behind the towers, representing the present human attainments. The ground is undulatory, representing alternating periods of rest and action. The stage of unfoldment is organization. And then here the Qaf, that's the Hebrew letter, back ahead. So you can see everything in this card has a meaning. The up and down, it represents the up and down of the journey that we take through life, and so life goes through rhythms. So there's a lot of value, a lot to be learned. So this is Pisces. This is where our moon sign is for today. Okay, so here, victory, this sphere here is the sphere of emotions. This is Pisces, which is water. Water's emotions. So we've coming from this emotions where we've achieved this state of victory, but it's on the sphere or on the pillar of receiving this energy where there's an abundance of this energy, and so now we have to find balance because it can be a bit overwhelming. Going into that unknown areas of the emotions can be very overwhelming, so we have to find a way to bring them back in balance. Okay? Our current moon phase is we have the full moon today. And then this week when we look up in the sky, of course we're going to see the full moon when we look up there. However, and the exact time, 9:38 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that's 6:38 over here on the west coast. The moon shines in dim Aquarius. To its upper left in the evening, the western side of the great square of Pegasus points down. This is more or less Perigean supermoon, the third in a row. So the moon seems extra large, that's why it's a supermoon. The Mayan Oracle, we're at a one-tone day. So it means we've begun a new wave spell. So with this full moon, a new cycle, a new theme. This theme on this particular system, which is based on the Mayan calendar. This theme for these 13 days here is the theme of the Skywalker, which represents exploration of space, the space around us. So we have the magnetic tone and the Skywalker. So today is the magnetic Skywalker guided by the Skywalker. And then these energies around it. This is the like-minded energy for today, which is teaching us the lessons of life and death, that there is no difference. The world bridger is the one who teaches us there are just two different ways of looking at our life experience. Then we have the challenge for today. Today it is the night, which is our subconscious mind, the dreams and abundance we bring up from them. So we're challenged to deal with our subconscious. And then our hidden power down here, it's called the occult kin. Occult just means that which is hidden, and kin represents family members. So all of these are our kin, because we look at the energies of each day as our relations, our kin, our family. So this hidden kin here, our hidden power, is our ability to shine bright. And when we allow that out, really allows us to feel like we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So today we have the magnetic tone, which is attracting, magnetizing to itself the idea of the Skywalker, which is exploration. So we're magnetizing, attracting this desire to go out and explore. And we're really focused on that because our guide is also the same. So the phrase for this is, I unify in order to explore, attracting wakefulness. I seal the output of space with a magnetic tone of purpose. I am guided by my own power doubled. Space weather, our solar wind is 404.6 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is quiet at the moment. This is a system which goes up to 9. And then here, this is our sun. And these things, these coronal holes, are just spaces that open up. These coronal holes are quite large, larger than the Earth. I mean, this one here is larger than the Earth, right, in itself. And when they face directing us, sometimes we get hit with wind that comes off there. It's called solar wind. And that affects our electromagnetics down here, depending on how strong it is. Sometimes, we can have power outages or just fluctuations in the electronics that are down here. Tells us that around the 9th, the 10th or 11th, we're going to feel some effect from what's going on up there right now. So it takes a couple of days for that wind to get from there to here, depending on how fast it's going. And then here we have M-class flare possibilities and X-class too, the kind of flares that come off of the sun. 70% chance we're going to have an M-class flare, which is like the medium type flare, and then the X-class, which is the big. 30% chance we're going to have one of those, and each one of these scales also go up to 9. So there could be an M1, M2, M3, M9 is the highest, and then it goes to the next class, which is X. So we'll pay attention to if any flares come up, and Our atmosphere right now has some geomagnetic activity, which means from all of this energy around it. And in the next 24 hours, we could see it's kind of low, 10%, 15%, 5%. This is where it normally seems to be. In higher latitudes, 15%, 20%. So it means that there might be some energy in the sky. Some people get their cameras ready, get some pictures of some good auroras, good sky pictures and stuff. All right, so the biggest thing we're seeing is the chance of the flare. 30% that we're going to have an X-class flare. Okay. And the last thing we're going to look at here for today to get us started is the Jewish calendar, another way of looking at time. So all of these are different ways we look at time. And even though we're looking at systems of time differently, we're still in the same moment of now, right here. Just different ways of understanding how the energy around us moves and how people have charted time throughout history. So instead of being 8 September, which it is the month of Elul, E-L-U-L, and today is 13 Elul. And if we go down here to see what the daily thought is for 13 Elul, it's called the autograph. When he had finished his world, complete and whole, each thing in its place, the earth below and the heavens beyond, it was then that the artist signed his holy name, a stillness within the busy painting, a vacuum in time, a pocket of silence within the polyphony, so that the infinite light could kiss the finite world, enter within and grant it life, and he called that Shabbat. In each thing there is a Shabbat, a sense of wonder, of knowing that there was something greater, something it never truly knew, a yearning to receive from there. With that learning it receives life. Without it nothing can survive, for that emptiness provides entry into the infinite. It's a nice thought for today. So very good. So that gets us started. That's our cosmic weather. UFO news is up next. Let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Today's UFO news starts off with this report here. UFO report sighting number 169 over at latest-ufo-sightings.net. This is where we have a whole bunch of them here. So we have the 4th of September in Swindon, UK, flying swiftly at about 1,000 feet right over the town, an orb, silent silver and wide. September 3rd, alien ship, 1.5 seconds of X-Files appears across the horizon at 15 seconds. Okay, and we had someone saw mountains behind Petaluma and Rohnert Park in California. I was taking my morning walk when I noticed something hovering in the air out of the corner of my eye. I stopped, watched it for about 5 to 10 minutes, but it didn't seem to move. It was very strange. Then all of a sudden it started to glide away towards the mountains. It seemed like it was trying to blend in. Its flight pattern was strange because it was hovering, gliding, and finally moving along the mountains very closely. Sydney, Australia. This was the 31st of August. Orbs continue to pervade the sky. Orbs showing more moves, circling them, holding, then absorbing another orb, then continuing to do so to other orbs. So we have a bunch here. So lots of sightings going on here. Let me jump over to this other ones here. This was over Australia. Here we have a night vision image. That's a good hexagon. Here we have Lou, who is famous for his night vision catches of UFOs over Melbourne. Here he catches a massive UFO traveling slowly across the sky. If you look carefully, you will notice that it is has six sides, a hexagon. Okay, 3-minute, 39-second video here. There's our objects. Always some good finds with these night vision cameras, huh? Big object right there. Here we go. Look at that one. Well, that's a doozy, huh? Pretty cool. Video's available. 3 minutes 38 seconds. You can find it all at firstcontactradio.com. Alright, here we are at San Diego, California. Video footage of a bright blue colored UFO above San Diego, September 6th. The witness said round, quick, quiet, smooth, fast turning object with red, blue, white lights, then disappears into the sky heading north. Out back in Mira Mesa, taking the dog out, then there's the blue object in the sky, and it turned quicker and sharper than any other plane or helicopter I've seen. Came towards my house. It was about 2 to 4 houses away north of me, and then I saw all blue, red, and white lights. So you can see it a little bit in here. When you enlarge the screen, you can get a better glimpse of it. Okay, moving from there, now we're going to go to North Carolina. There's another shot with night vision. You can tell the night vision because of the greenish color. I had a small telescope and I was trying to get a good view of the moon. I also had night vision monocular, a PVS 14 with a 3 times magnifier and a tripod with a video camera attached to it, and a set of night vision goggles, PVS SD, around my neck. I usually have the goggles with me if it's a clear night out. There were no clouds that night. I was looking through the goggles and noticed a plane coming towards me from the north, heading south. It was relatively low, 5,000 feet or less. I'm pretty good at estimating distances. I'm an experienced skydiver and long-distance shooter. I thought it was a little weird that I wasn't hearing it coming towards me. Doppler effect, so I started recording on the PSV-14. I probably noticed it when it was maybe at 75-degree angle. As it was passing over me, I still heard nothing, no sound whatsoever. I'm trying to look at it through the goggles and record with monocular at the same time. As I'm watching it, I noticed it is passing the stars. I could see the stars through the craft. I saw the stars through the fuselage of the craft. Later, I confirmed this when I reviewed the video. The craft was the shape of a triangle. There were 2 lights on the rear of the vehicle, circular, and the light in front was shaped like a triangle itself with a small round light behind it. So altogether we have 5 lights. Of course, seeing planes through the night vision goggles, you can hear planes at 5,000 feet. You can hear the planes at 15 and 20. The thing is, it was low and slow and silent. So there's a good image here. Video itself, 50 seconds. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's move from here. Now we're going to go to Arizona. All we had says this was an image taken with a LG smartphone. There's a cloud right there, and a UFO came out of it.
Official sighting here off of Oro Grande Boulevard.
Okay.
Here is a perspective of size and distance.
And that's Arizona, by Lake Havasu, Arizona. Good shot. Good shot with the camera. Alright, when you're in Texas, you are deep in UFO country. About 9:30 p.m., August 18th, a brilliantly lit object that obviously was not an airplane was seen in the sky over San Antonio, moving rapidly towards Randolph Air Force Base. The pedestrian who saw the object told the Mutual UFO Network that it had made no sound and that the brilliant light remained after the object was out of sight, according to MUFON's latest monthly UFO alert. The San Antonio sighting was one of 42 reported in Texas, the second highest number in the United States. California took the top spot with 99. Texas usually ranks second or third among states in the number of UFOs reported to MUFON, said Fletcher Gray, the group's volunteer chief investigator for Texas. Alright, let's see here. And then this was the shot we had last month in San Antonio. Alright, good shot. Next story. Triangle, La Crosse, Wisconsin. It's really all the description we have with this. Mr. UFO. Okay. Alright. So there's our triangle. This was a recent video just sent in. Here we go. Same area. Daytime object. Pretty cool. Well, that's a good shot of the triangle craft, huh? Alright, let's move from here. This was over Wisconsin. We're going to go up to the moon now. And there's always interesting things being found up at the moon. Here we have what looks like to be water. As you get closer and you look and see, it's like water is dripping down the sand. This is an actual photo of liquid streaming down from the rocks. If you look at the enlargement, you can see that it appears to be water. Also in the cracks of the rocks, you see in it sea moisture. In it you see moisture. NASA states this about the photo. The image was taken by the mast cam on board NASA's Mars Rover Curiosity. Okay. So very interesting. Keep finding all kind of interesting things up there. Obviously something happened on Mars that is not being reported to the general population for various reasons. Something still is going on up there because these pictures are recent. Hard to imagine that this water would have, or liquid would have, made its way out here. And it's been like that for a long period of time, like thousands of years. This looks like it's rather recent, which means that there's some running water or some running liquid somewhere. Alright, then here we go. UFO hunter says council should embrace aliens. Over the past century, Scarborough's tourism trade has been dominated by holidaymakers hell-bent on fish, chips, and seafront strolls. But if Scarborough Council want visitors to keep flocking to the coast, they should put less emphasis on buckets and spades and instead focus on the little green men. That's at least the view of local alien hunter Russ Kellett, who feels the authority is missing out on the gold mine that is UFO tourism. He claims the borough is a hotbed for close encounters in its paranormal circles, and is synonymous with flying saucers as it is with donkey rides. There's more going on with UFOs in Scarborough than in Roswell, says Filey's Russ, who claims that he was once abducted by wetsuit-clad 9-foot aliens. We have some really famous UFO sightings around here, and if I was on the council, I would have banners up saying, "Welcome to the British UFO capital." Several American extraterrestrial hotspots have recently begun peddling UFO tourism to stargazers in a bid to bring extra revenue. While it's currently an alien concept to tourism boards in this country, Mr. Keller feels it could provide lucrative should the council pursue it. Absolutely. The more people that, a lot of people want to know about what's going on. So it's a sign that when more people want to know, that the subject is gathering big attention. And here we have a story about the Men in Black, the art of deception and the great UFO cover-up by real-life Men in Black. Are we getting the facts right? Are we really need to know more about UFOs and aliens? Are we really getting informed, or are we being deceived? Aliens, UFOs, and the possibility of life on other planets is already a popular thing in our generation today. Unexplained phenomena, sightings, and encounters are now a global issue, and the evidence is always there for us to find. Everything we cannot explain or understand can easily be linked to many conspiracy theories involving the United States government, the Illuminati, UFOs, aliens, and all of them unbelievably convincing to one gullible mind. Well, true enough, according to a recent documentary called The Mirage Men. The documentary is about the United States government and its agents following the general public about the UFOs, aliens, and other bunch of stuff in their covert operations. The documentary also covers Edward Snowden's leak of official and undisclosed government documents that include a GCHQ PowerPoint presentation named The Art of Deception, subtitled Training for a New Generation of Online Covert Operation. The U.S. government wants to create a form of deception to exchange the truth with lies and lies with half-truths. Air Force Special Officer Richard Doty admits that this kind of operation existed early in the 70s, and the operation was up for more than 2 decades. Doty and his colleagues were feeding up unsuspicious ufologists and researchers with lies and half-truths, deceiving everyone who gets caught in the conspiracy, and they are very good at selling it. These agents are the real men in black, but they are not the men in black, the ones that would expect in the Hollywood adaptation. Agent J and Agent K, played by Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones respectively, who work as secret agents. The Mirage Men discovered many operations to deceive people, done by the likes of Doty and his associates. Alright, lots of this article, and the movie is pretty cool. And you get to find out what we already know, that we have an agency here in this country that lies to the American people, because this agency and those who are part of it, well, they don't believe that the people, the general public, don't have the wherewithal to be able to understand what's going on as well as they could, because they have some superior intellect. So that's really what that's all about. But it's crazy ego nonsense, and we're going to move on from there. So that's our UFO news for today. Let me jump away for a second. Let me get myself organized. I'll be right back, and we'll continue on with our study of Kaballah for today. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Get on with this here. So over the last several weeks, we've been going over information, learning about the Tree of Life, otherwise known as Kaballah, the science of the many universes. Alright, so today we're going to go and we're going to look at chapter 7 of the Sefer Yetzirah. Actually, I think we finished it the other day. And then we're going to move into the mystical Kaballah. So the Sefer Yetzirah, well, let's jump over here. Got to the end here. Yes, our last one. Okay, so we've made it through this here, through the Book of Formation. And there's 6 chapters in it. So this is a good book just to review. This is a book that is like one of the oldest books on the subject. And it's called the Book of Formation. And when you go through it, it just really kind of helps us to understand a bit more about this. The words are very flowery, and when you read through them, what you want to do is you want to kind of get the flow of how there's a poetry or a music to these words, and they kind of repeat themselves over and over, but there's a purpose to all of this. And so as you go through, you're going to find out, as we've been reading through, that there's a bit more information on the different names, that we see the elements. You know, here we have air from spirit, fire from water, because what happens is when we're looking at the fire, the water, the air, and the earth, well, each one of the fire, the water, the air, and the earth also has its designation. So there would be the fire of fire, the water of fire, the air of fire, and the earth of fire. And so there's lots of ways to really take energy and break it down to the next lowest level, and break it down to the next lowest level. Sometimes it's not necessary to do that, because it can really get to a point where it would just drive you crazy, but it just goes to show the amount of thought and organization in the system, that even at the smallest little aspect of creation, there's a system of organization in place. And that small little bit of organization allows the much larger system to be put in place. So this is a book to go through and keep, available as a book to help you really understand more and more. Okay. Now, pattern on the Trestleboard. Truth about the self. These are the 11 points called Truths About the Self that associate with each one of these 10 sephira. The first point isn't with a sephira. The first one, the 0, is all the darkness around it because it represents everything else. It says all the power that ever was or will be is here now. And that statement is a very important statement for all of the system, not only of Kabbalah, but all of life. That all of the power is here now. That means anything we could ever want, anything we ever need, it's available to us. All the power that ever was, of things that have already happened, it's here. So all the power that ever was or will be is here now. And once we kind of understand that's what's available to us to draw off of, we realize that anything that's ever been created in the universe has come from the same source that is available to us, because that energy still exists. So it really gives us an opportunity to see the much bigger possibilities available in life to us and begin to see behind the curtain the workings of what's really going on. And that's really what this system is, helping us to see how things are really moving and operating. Next one, I am a center of expression for the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe. So all of this power, all of this potentiality takes and it squeezes itself down. It expresses itself through one focused point, one, like the magician, focused, and it focuses that energy as one singular point that expresses itself as the crown. So I am a center of expression for the primal will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe. So this energy now is going to keep moving out like a waterfall, and it's just going to keep moving, and it moves on this pattern, this back and forth pattern. And as it does, each energy that proceeds from it is going to have characteristics of the one that came before it, but it's going to also create a new pattern as it moves forward. In that way, whatever is here is fueling and filling everything. And so everything that gets filled up has an aspect of the crown within it. And as it moves down, everything below that has an aspect of wisdom in it, and so on. So it keeps accumulating and building. So then we go to number 2. So now we've made our central point coming here. Now 2, through me, its unfailing wisdom takes form in thought and word. Recognition that there is a wisdom in the universe, an unfailing wisdom, crossed away, filled with understanding of its perfect law. I am guided moment by moment along the path of liberation. Understanding, very important. So it lets us know that once we understand how everything operates, and these 3 work together, 1, 2, and 3, this is the Trinity right up here. As these 3 work together, we understand that there is a perfection. There is a process that is taking place. And as we understand the organization of it better, we understand better how we fit within it. Now we move from the Trinity up here. Now we're going to move down to the next one. From the exhaustless riches of its limitless substance, I draw all things needful, both spiritual and material. Here we have the astrological symbol of Jupiter. Jupiter expands. So it's saying from the exhaustless riches. So everything is expanded outward to an exhaustless amount. I draw all things needful and material. So very important here. Jupiter is the giver of what we need. We have to keep in mind, though, when we have available to us anything in the whole wide world, we should take a moment to think what it is that we want, because we may not need everything we think we want. So it's important, especially once we can get anything we need or anything we want. We move from there now over here to the other side. 5, I recognize the manifestation of the undeviating justice in all the circumstances of my life. Okay, then down to the heart, where we recognize the beauty in all things great and small. I see the beauty of the divine expression. Then we go down here to victory. This is also a sphere of emotions. It says, living from that will, supported by its unfailing wisdom and understanding, mine is the victorious life. So we have victory implied on understanding the emotions, understanding how powerful they are. The other side here, now we go to number 8. This is the mind. I look forward with confidence to the perfect realization of the eternal splendor of the limitless light. And we go to the foundation. This is our subconscious mind. In thought and word and deed, I rest my life from day to day upon the sure foundation of eternal being. And finally, number 10, the kingdom of spirit is embodied in my flesh. If you were just on a daily basis to sit down, take this symbol, here's a larger version, take this symbol, look at it, recite these to yourself, and then do a meditation, or just recite one of them over and over and meditate on individual ones. Just this in itself, I guarantee you, you will learn more about this tree and more about this system than you realize, because these are all keys that are helping to unlock aspects of this wisdom that is already within you. All right, so we're going to move from the Esoteric. Let's go over to the mystical Kaballah and take a little bit more information for today. Today from chapter 7. Okay, jump ahead here. But there's a lot of great info, and a lot of this you learn as you meditate, as you take time to go into yourself. The words here are just words, but actually putting them into practice is where you're really going to gather even more insight to what they mean. Okay, we have the three supernals. It says, I have considered in outline the development of the first three divine emanations. So the first three divine emanations right here, these are the divine emanations, the crown, wisdom, and understanding. In here we also have the zodiac. Here we have Saturn. There's the little symbol for it right there. Okay, so having considered the outline and the development of the first three divine emanations, we are now in a position to attain a deeper insight into their nature and their significance, for we can study them in relation to each other. This is the only way to study the Sephira, for a single Sephira taken by itself is barren of significance. The tree of life is essentially a scheme of relationships, stresses, and reflections. It's very important to understand, so when we're relating, whatever we're relating on here, we're always looking, like if we're looking at wisdom, this Sephira, we're looking at the paths that come into it, because they relate to us, other aspects. If we're looking at a path, we look at the two Sephira on either end. So we're always looking at ways that we relate information on this tree, because it's a living, breathing bit of energy, just like ourselves. All right, the tree of life is essentially a scheme of relationships. The rabbinical books have many curious appellations to the Sephira, and we learn much from considering these, for every word in these books has a weighty significance, and none is used lightly or for the sake of idle poetic imagery, as all are precise as scientific terms, which in fact is what they are. The meaning of the word Kether, or Kether, we have already noted is crown. Chokmah, which is the second one, wisdom, and Bina means understanding. But pendant to these two latter Sephira is a curious and a mysterious third, that which is represented in the glyph of the tree of life, that is the invisible Sephira, Dath, knowledge, and it is said to be formed out of the conjunction of Chokmah and Bina, and is situated astride the abyss. So this one that we're talking about, this invisible one, it's right here, right where this crosses, okay? And this is Dath, knowledge. Knowledge comes at that crossroads right there between these two. Okay. So Crowley tells us that Dath is in another dimension to the other Sephira and forms the apex of a pyramid, of which Kethet, Kethar, Chokmah, and Bina form the three basal angles. To me, Dath presents the idea of realization and consciousness. Let us now proceed to elucidate the three supernals according to the method of the mystical Kaballah, which consists of filling the mind with the correspondences and the symbols assigned thereto, and letting contemplation work amongst them. It will be observed that these three and mysterious These three and their mysterious fourth all contain symbolism relating to the head, which is the archetypal man, who represents the highest level of consciousness. When we seek in the rabbinical literature to know or to see what further names may have been applied to them, we find yet more head symbols applied to Kether. This is, although not as specifically referred to them, may be taken to embrace the other two supernals also, for they are aspects of Kether over a lower plane. The rabbis call Kether, among other titles, which we need not consider now, Ankh, Opjin, the vast continents, the white head, the head which is not. The magical symbol of Kether, according to Crowley, is an ancient bearded king seen in profile. MacGregor Mather says the symbolism of the vast continents is that of the profile, which is only one side of the continents is seen, or it is said in Kabbalah, in him is all right side, the left side being turned towards the unmanifest, is for us like the dark side of the moon. So what this is saying is that each one of these, we have all the symbols and the images we've seen throughout time of the man with the white beard and the other esoteric symbology. Well, all of those symbols and characters can be represented in different aspects here because they represent different orders of teaching and wisdom. And within Kether the crown, we get the image of that being that you only see one side of his face, because the one side is the manifest side into this reality and the other side is the unmanifest. And the unmanifest always means a great field of possibilities, potentialities. Okay, but Kether is primarily the crown. Now the crown is not the head, but rests on it and above it. Therefore, Kether cannot be consciousness, but the raw material of consciousness, which considered microcosmically, and the raw material of existence when considered macrocosmically. For there is this twofold way of considering the tree, and we have already noted it can be regarded as the universe and as the soul of man, and these two aspects throw light upon each other. In other words, the emerald tablet of Hermes, as above, so below. All right, so that's plenty right there just to contemplate on. So if you, between now and the next week, finish up this chapter 7, take your time going through it, go through the patterns on the Trestleboard, and then just meditate and contemplate on what we've learned. These are the three supernals, trinity of energy right here, and then remember the fourth one, Doth. It's not this image here, just remember an invisible circle right here. Doth means knowledge. If you just meditate on those things alone, just the bit that we learned, I guarantee you, you will find yourself opening up to a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. I used to go through phases of time, haven't in a while, where I would have these real vivid dreams, and I'd be in classrooms, and I'd be all in white, and all of the other people in the classroom studying there were in white, and there were those teaching in front of the classroom, and they had white turbans on, all dressed in white. I'd go night after night. I'd have these really vivid dreams of being in these classrooms learning. So I know that this happens out there and that we all have opportunity to learn well beyond where we're at here in this particular reality. All right. Let's jump over to an article here at In5D. The Real Awakening, the event. Michelle Walling. The real definition of awakening has yet to occur, although we are more cognizant of who we are and what we do here. The abilities that we used to have are latent within our DNA at this time. The real awakening occurs when we bring our multidimensional selves online and realize what our cosmic star heritage is. Much of our time is currently being spent in researching our cosmic heritage as we search for our star family. Some people may have memories of the past lives with these beings, and others have memories of having contact with their family while here on the planet, on a spaceship, or in their astral travels. Most people, however, do not have the memories of their cosmic family, which leaves an emptiness inside that they are constantly trying to fill. The version of human on this planet at this time is a mix of several different gods that has had a human heritage on this planet at one time. There were gods who had either had sex with humans, that were here from other species or took our DNA to genetically modify it. Then those people had sex with other species or modified the DNA, and so on and so on. Thus, we have a little bit of heritage from Sirius, the Pleiades, Orion, Arcturus, and more. Some may have had more of one kind of race than another. For example, some may have had one reptilian in them from Sirius. Some may have had more gray in them from Orion. It all depends upon your past life, cosmic family heritage, as well as your physical parents' DNA and heritage. At any rate, the point is that not everyone has the same percentage of cosmic heritage because of the various factors of physical and non-physical traits as defined by our DNA. We can begin to create our own paradise on Earth, and anywhere else we begin to emerge our multidimensional aspects of ourselves while existing in a body. This is done through the activation of dormant DNA that once turned off was once turned off through genetic manipulation. By bringing this latent DNA online, we are shifting from a third-dimensional reality to a multi-dimensional reality. Let me jump to the end here. There's a lot more to the article. It says here, ultimately, we are all aspects of the one creator being that set us forth to experience. That is our true cosmic heritage. However, we get to experience personalities in each lifetime, and we do not lose that part of us, nor the experience. These experiences get recorded not only in our DNA, but in Earth's DNA, in the solar system, and so on. We can access Earth's Akashic records in our DNA as well. Thus, we are living libraries that can share information with many beings in the cosmos. Now, that is a true awakening to who we really are. All right, very good. Good article, Michelle. And I didn't finish the whole thing, so I'm going to leave the rest for you to read. So we're just about to the end for our channeled message for today. I just want to let you know about a new project that I've been doing. I mentioned it last week. One Step Beyond Imagination. It's a radio show. It's AM radio out of the Inland Empire, KCAA, AM. And on Saturday nights from 6 to 10 p.m. Pacific time, I am co-hosting the show with Colonel Steve Alexander. And it's a show about UFOs, ghosts, paranormal activity, other kind of things like that. And it's a call-in show. So I know I've gotten a number of emails from those who had asked if there was ways to contact and communicate and call into here. So Saturday nights, call into the show there. It's a call-in show. Ask whatever questions. I'll be doing reviews of what happened over First Contact Radio over the course of the week. We'll be bringing the UFO news reports to there. So a lot of good stuff going on. I think you'll enjoy the show. We had our first one the other night. Went very well. So Saturday nights, you can check out the website onestepbeyondimagination.com. All right. Now let's move to our channel, the message for today, and it comes to us from Hilarion.
Hilarion.
September 7th through the 14th, 2014, by Marlene Swetleshoff.
Hilarion.
Beloved ones, you are now playing the waiting game, only you cannot discern the purpose of your waiting. It is time to step up to the next level of your journey. The thing you are waiting for is your own remembrance of the magnificence you are. This remembrance is coded within you, and it is connected to an event in your life that will or has already taken place. How you will know that yours has been activated is by the feeling you experience that there is nothing of the old world that holds any interest for you any longer. You are more than ready to leave behind all the old programs and beliefs that were not really yours to begin with. This readiness can sometimes be experienced as depression, lethargy, and apathy, the feeling that nothing will ever get better in your day-to-day life and that there is only chaos and dissolution that surrounds you. Know that when you are experiencing this, you will soon be moving into a higher octave and frequency. What is called for now is to foster the feeling of gratitude and praise for every moment of your daily life. For every negating thought you have, find 10 things in your life to be grateful for and praise yourself for each one. Every time a self-defeating thought surfaces from deep within, take the time to make a list of 10 things that are good and are working in your life, even if it seems mundane to your perceptions. The point is to train your mind to think only empowering and nurturing thoughts so that you draw to yourself all that you desire to experience in your daily life. The work that must be done now is to love and nurture yourself. Each of you is very good, even excellent, in giving to others what they need, but it is now the time to daily do good to yourselves. This might seem like a chore at first and you will likely feel it is a silly waste of time, but I assure you, dear ones, that it is crucial that you continue. In order to live a magical life, you must be the magic, and you cannot be the magic if you do not love and honor yourself first. A healthy love of self is required to create the life of your dreams. You must know and feel that you deserve the best life yet. You must also start on that path and get out of waiting mode, for it is yourselves that you have been waiting for. The divine within you is experiencing life as you. You have all the resources you need within you, and this need to be tapped into. This will require daily periods of quiet stillness so that you can connect to your core essence. Even 5 minutes spent in stillness and meditation will reap many benefits for you, and this practice will also raise your frequency level, which needs to be maintained and sustained so that you can move to an even higher level. There is always reward from the universe for sustained focus and commitment on a daily basis. As you flourish in every facet of your life, the gap between cause and effect diminishes and the flow of joyous events in your life become manifest through the magic that you embody. As you let your former limitations drop away, you release yet another area that allows greater life force to fill you, nourish you, and sustain you. In this ongoing releasing and cleansing process, you allow your higher self, your soul, to become a more powerful influence within you, and your daily life begins to radiate your true brilliance in all aspects of it. This turn of events brings more gratitude and praise, more heartfelt enthusiasm and passion to well up within you, and soon you will find yourselves in a state of continual joy and bliss. The high spirits you experience will encourage you to stay on this path, and the thought of going back to lower density will be totally repugnant to you. It will also allow a powerful and joyful creative energy to fill you and work through you. The gifts you have carried within your DNA are activated and turned on, and you begin to share your gifts with others around you. You gain a clarity of mind that is attuned to the promptings within your heart, and you know always the right thing for you to do. These are some of the initial openings that are now occurring, and they will lead to even greater abilities as they are processed. Expect the highest outcome in all that you do, and most important of all, believe in yourselves. Until next week. I am Hyla Ryan.
Good message from Hyla Ryan. I like the idea of gratitude. So let's go into our meditation for today. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. Take a deep breath. And exhale. And as you exhale, just imagine that breath going out there, leading the way for the week. Take another deep breath, and within that breath, think of all of the possibilities of what you want to create this week, and exhale and let that energy go out there. And let that breath, that energy go out and create that. Set that path before you. And imagine yourself walking the path of life. And as you walk and you see all the people and you see what's going on in the world, you find yourself in a place of gratitude because you understand that we are at an important point in our history, in our evolution. You understand that the books, the prophecies, the teachings have all led us and shown us that we are going through a great change right now. And that instead of getting angry with the change, it is time for us to embrace the change. To embrace the evolution that we are going through. And so the first step is to give gratitude, to thank ourselves for being aware of knowing where we are at this moment. Because we are aware of where we are able to look around to see and truly evaluate where we are going and what is happening. And as we give gratitude, we find that our experience becomes much more pleasurable And this energy goes out as positive waves. And these positive waves that we sent out as gratitude come back to us. And we understand there's this energetic exchange of appreciation that takes place between us and the universe. And as we experience all the wonder of the world around us, as we experience the energies of life, the abundance, and we begin to really find that deeper appreciation for all of these things, we realize that life has more to offer than just what we see with our eyes. Let us contemplate today's affirmation. I live one-on-one at one with the only one, God. Cosmic good is infused in everything I do and everything I am. The infinite ooze of unlimited possibilities is the background, the playground of my mind. Releasing the lesser, I embrace the next great version of who and what I am. Beyond limitations, above conditions, breaking free and being me. Gratefully, I let it be, and so it is. And imagine yourself moving along the path of life, feeling happy with all that is going on, feeling grateful for the experience you had, and grateful for those which are coming into your life. And just allow that gratitude and that feeling of goodness to be enough. And just think of the word love and let your body be immersed in this love and just let it move out from you in all directions. So just imagine yourself moving through this world today, filled with gratitude, expressing love. Let your subconscious mind continue on that journey, and let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment, happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's our show for today. Thank you very much for being here. I'll be back I'll be back tomorrow with more news and information. Check out the website. Got all the links for today's show. And I'll be having the link up there to the One Step Beyond Imagination, getting all that situated so you can link right in and listen to what we did on Saturday. And perhaps this coming Saturday you join us and call in. That's it. I will be back tomorrow. Till then, I love you. Keep loving yourself. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.